This is Japanese coffee jelly, your caffeine hit and refreshing summer dessert in one. It's easy to make and you can make it as strong or sweet as you like. I'm making it 2 ways, one with gelatin, one with plant-based content. Let's get started. Want to save this recipe for later? Grab the printable version on my website by googling coffee jelly Sudachi. The base recipe makes 500 ml of jelly, enough for about 6 small servings. For the gelatin, use 15 grams of unflavored gelatin powder. For Kanten, just 2 grams of Kanten powder. 1 sachet is usually 4 grams, so we'll use about half so that it doesn't get too firm. Then for the both, 500 ml water, 2 tablespoons of instant coffee or instant espresso powder, and sugar to taste. I usually recommend 2 to 3 tablespoons. If you'd rather use espresso shots from a machine instead of instant coffee, hold a thought, I'll cover it in a second. And a quick note, if you've got agar instead of Kanten, they're not the same thing even though the names get used interchangeably. If you're using agar, check the packaging for the exact measurements and cooking instructions. There are 2 ways you can add coffee in this recipe, and it changes how much water you use. Instant coffee or instant espresso powder can be dissolved straight into the hot mixture, no adjustment needed. For espresso shots from a machine, since you're adding liquid, you need to cut back the water to keep the same total volume. Reduce the water by 30 ml for every single shot you use. A good starting point in this recipe is 2 or 3 double shots, that's 120 to 180 ml plus 380 or 320 water to bring you back up to 500 ml total. One important rule for the Kanten method specifically, don't boil already brewed coffee like dripped coffee, it will taste bitter and burnt. That's exactly why instant coffee or espresso shots work better here. They get added after the boiling step, not before. I'm going to start with the gelatin method. First, measure 200 ml of cold water in a bowl. Sprinkle the 15 grams of gelatin over the top. Don't dump water onto dry gelatin, it goes lumpy. Mix and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes until it swells up. While you wait, boil the remaining 300 ml of water and pour it into a heat-proof jug. I'm using 4 single espresso shots for this one, so I'm adjusting the water down to 180 ml. If you use instant coffee, keep it at 300. Add the bloom gelatin and mix until fully dissolved. If it's not melting, microwave it in 20 seconds blast or heat it gently in a pan on the stove top without letting it boil. Next, add your sugar and mix well until fully dissolved. I use 2 tablespoons of sugar, but you can adjust the sweetness to your taste. Then add your coffee. I have my espresso shots freshly poured by my coffee machine, 120 ml for a relatively mild coffee jelly. Feel free to use more, but reduce the water if you do. Pour it into your mold or serving cups, cool it to room temperature, and then chill it in the fridge for at least 4 hours. Coffee jelly in Japan is often cut into cubes, so if you want to serve it that way, use a 15 cm square pan for this recipe, or you can serve it in pouring cups or ramekins. Just leave some space at the top for adding cream. Next is the Kanten method, and it's a completely different process. Kanten is a seaweed based setting agent that needs to be boiled to activate, otherwise it won't set at all. First, mix 2 grams of Kanten powder and sugar together in a bowl. This prevents clumping and makes them evenly distributed before they hit the water. Kanten is pretty strong, so if you use the full 4 gram sachet, your jelly will be quite solid. Pour 500 ml of cold water into a saucepan, sprinkle in the Kanten and sugar mix over the top and stir. Again, if you're using espresso shots instead of instant coffee, reduce the water here. Bring it to a boil over medium heat, then lower it slightly and let it gently bubble for 1 to 5 minutes depending on what the label says. Mine says 1 to 2 minutes. Stir it occasionally and scrape the bottom so it doesn't catch. Take it off the heat and stir it for a minute to cool it slightly, then add your coffee. This time I'm using instant espresso powder. I use 2 tablespoons for this, which is pretty strong. You can use less if you prefer. It depends on the brand of coffee, but I do suggest making it stronger than what you'd think because it tastes milder as a jelly. Scoop off any foam and then pour it into your molds. Cool to room temperature, then refrigerate. Kanten sets in less than an hour, much faster than gelatin, and it firms up even at room temperature. Okay, it's been about 4 hours. Let's compare these coffee jellies side by side. Here you can see gelatin gives you a soft, clear, jiggly cube. Kanten gives you a firmer cube that is stable at room temperature. They're both great, but the texture is different. If speed or plant-based is a priority for you, Kanten is the one to use. Once it's set, you can enjoy it as it is or upgrade it with one of my serving suggestions. The classic way to eat it is with cream, either poured over the top or whipped. Coffee and cream is the perfect combination that rounds out the flavor and improves mouthfeel. The next is not so common, but a drizzle of syrup is a great addition. You can use simple syrup or flavored syrup. I have hazelnut syrup here, but vanilla, caramel, or whatever you like work great too. A few chopped nuts on top if you want extra texture. For my final serving suggestion, drop the cube straight into a glass with ice and top it with chilled coffee. Think of it like a coffee flavored alternative to boba pearls. You get a little burst of coffee jelly in every sip. And that's my easy coffee jelly recipe. 2 ways to make it, 3 ways to enjoy it. Perfect pick me up for a hot summer's day. Want even more delicious recipes? Grab my free cookbook from the link in the description. Okay, let's go over the ingredients one more time, and if you're ready to cook, grab the written instructions by clicking the full recipe box with a picture that's about to pop up on your screen. That's a wrap. You can find a full printable version of this recipe on my website, linked right here on the screen. It has all the extra details to help you get perfect every time. If you enjoyed this, check out my Japanese dessert playlist. And next week I'm making gomadare soba. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you then.